Guardado.
I'm Caroline Sharpless.
And this is Strategic Planning and Nonprofit Sector. Our project today, we're going to do the executive summary first of the Northside Community Center. It was founded in 1904 by the First United Methodist Church of Houston. They wanted to start a mission that would help widows with children across the bayou whose husband had been killed by the railroads. And so their purpose of forming it was they were committed to improving the quality of life in the community that they were serving. And so one of the big reasons that they wanted to start this program was so that they can help their community. One of the projects that they allowed to instill in the program was the FOC, or as we know it as the Financial Opportunity Center.
So one of the most important qualities about the Financial Opportunity Center is this holistic approach. They believe that by serving one client, they're serving a whole family. So they won't be helping just children, they'll be helping the whole community. And so at the FOC, they have financial counseling, they have coaching, and they have job opportunity training. They've been very successful, and it's one of the highlights of this community center. And one problem that they have now, it's 111 years old, their building is getting old. The building itself was built in the 70s, and it's showing age and has trouble. And they're also facing the threat of gentrification. This is a low-income neighborhood, and they're very involved with all the children that are there, and the students, and the family. And so we wanted to study the FOC and see how they respond to the challenges of the gentrification that's going on, the branching out from downtown Houston, and how to distinguish themselves among other FOCs in the neighborhood.
Okay, so presenting these ideas and recommendations to new leadership, we hope that they will aid their decision making in the future plans to come, right?
Yes.
And so we want to quickly talk to you about the mission and the vision and the values. The mission and values of the NCC is that Northside Community Center invests in the potential of individuals and creates opportunity to strengthen families and build neighborhood. They were able to shift their language from helping to investing and strengthening. So they became more of a place that wanted to empower rather than just giving a handout. And so the way they did this was through two-generation approach.
They believe that that access to early childhood services and overall economic conditions of the family influence child development also. So it was very important for them to target not just the child, but the parents, and help them however they could with benefits and lead them to things that will help the quality of their life. And that's the FOC's mission, is this two-generation approach.
Okay. And so within the two-generation approach, one of the first things that they believe is in child development. And so the NCC believes that access to early childhood services and the overall economic conditions of the family influences the child development. So they believe that if they can influence the family, they can help the families, then they will help children alongside. So it would bring child development through that way. Also, child development is also influenced by the parents' level of education attainment. So the only way that they believe that they can move their children out of poverty is through dual generation education, as Caroline mentioned. So the NCC, the FOC's goal, is to connect families to vital resources. So they want to be able to be the guide to help them to provide resources to people in their community. They want to provide affordable transportation, housing, and food assistance. And so now we want to talk about some of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats that face the FOC.
So one of the main strengths is their history here. They've been here 111 years. They're well respected. They have many people that have gone through the programs and come back and bring their own children through here. We've got city officials that have been through the Northside Community Center, and it's very well established amongst the community in banks and other programs. They also partnered with the LISC. They chose the Northside Community Center as a place that they wanted to sponsor some of their programs and a part of the Go Neighborhood Community programs. Again, it's this holistic program that's so wonderful that they actually strive to make sure everyone is included in the whole neighborhood, that it can't be just one client, it has to be involved the whole family and their extended surroundings. And then because of this wonderful approach, the staff is very motivated and moved, and so we found this to be a wonderful organization, very proud of their FOC, but it is reached a point where they need to make some decisions.
And so some of the weaknesses that they're targeting, that they're facing, for one of the things that we gather is that they're only reaching 15% of their community. The true stats is that within their program, they're only reaching 15% of the people in their program are from their community. And so within the program, they still doesn't give it the face value of reaching their community. The age and adequacy headquarters, the building, the physical, the aesthetic part of the building being where it's at, it's also one of the weaknesses that it has. It's a little bit hard to find. Whenever you drive down through the neighborhood, it's very well hidden. Another thing that is one of their weaknesses is their brand recognition. Some of the things that they've struggled with is really having a strong social media platform. And another part is the lack of staff retention. When we talked to one of their executives, she told us that one of the problems they have is in building leaders that would stay with the organization. And then finally, one of their weaknesses is that they have failed internal communications. There's a lot of messages, a lot of communication that is lost within the staff themselves.
So their opportunities are, with gentrification, it's also an opportunity. It's a problem, especially for the population that are from low income, that can't afford the increase in rent or home ownership or taxes. But at the same time, it's very slow. It's still not gentrified. There's still quite a few people to reach in this community, and it's an opportunity for the Northside community to keep moving forward with this and show themselves to be an example of how gentrification can be used as something positive in these lower income neighborhoods. Again, their opportunity is with their communication tools that we think need improvement, can also be expanded into the larger area of the city. And so revamping this and improving this will only help with not just their internal communication, but also their external communication. And then we feel like they need outside consultation. It's an opportunity, again, to expand their reach. They need to have someone from outside to be able to look in. And so with this turnover that they keep having, it's unfortunate on one hand, it's another for fresh eyes to come and see the programs and see what they can do to improve. And the last one is this larger reach into the community. It's still, because it's sort of hidden and obscure, it has this opportunity to really revamp their whole image and reach farther out to the community.
And so one of the many threats, there's many threats that the FOC face within the NCC. One of them is gentrification. Gentrification is a real cause for alarm. Because of the resulting economic development, it can threaten their clientele pool. The second threat that we saw was too much reliance on the United Way allocations and government grants. And so one of the things that we see is that they need to have a larger pool of resources and funds to pull from. And also another threat is that there are many similar programs that is reaching their clientele base. And so because there's so much competition, it's hard for them to be able to reach a lot of the clients that really need this resource. So one of the next ways that they're able to target strategic issues is through the following.
So in 2016, they established their commitment to the FOC. It was very important. They have many early childhood education programs, but this is what they committed to. And they committed with the slogans, education and learn it, career development, earn it, income support, keep it, and financial coaching, grow it. So they were really determined to make sure that every family that entered these doors was fully equipped to further their finances. So, and they had the saying, an investment in Northside is an investment in the future of Houston. So that sort of positioned them as their FOC, and it became the pride of the community and the pride of the center itself. So it wasn't just about children or food, it was very important to them to keep this mission very clear and present in their mind in all their decision making.
And so one of the ways that they want to tackle some of their issues, they have this long-term vision. The first one is the need for a new building or major renovations in a neighborhood facing gentrification. The goal of the FOC is long-range overreaching of the NCC itself. So one of the ways that they want to do this is they want to be able to have more space. By adding more additional rooms and additional classrooms, they would have the opportunity for more programming and students. They believe that if they can face this question, then any threats that gentrification can pose and challenge can be transformed into an opportunity.
So with the building, that's a major campaign that they're facing, capital campaign that they would be facing. And in the FOC itself, we found that they weren't incapable of actually making decisions to move forward until they knew what was going to happen to their offices and to their classrooms. And so that's where we sort of worked from an internal aspect.
And so part of the long-term vision is also to the need for improved brand and recognition and community outreach. Bring in fresh ideas, people that can come in and handle the social media presence, to be able to handle all of the functions on the website, be able to have better branding, better looking programs or shots that are going to be able to promote the program even better. The third thing is a renewed sense of vision and purpose by developing communication skills and team building throughout the organizations. One of the problems or issues mentioned is the lack of communication within the team. There's a couple of resources and tools that they can really use. For example, one would be the Google Docs, and all of the Google platforms, which is a free tool. They can all be linked together and synced with the same communication. Another program is Slack. Slack is an app-based program that allows you to connect with the people that you want to connect with within your organization.
So one of the wonderful things about the FOC at Northside is their workforce training. So they've actually made partnerships with Methodist Hospital where they train people to take blood, or it's those middle skills that they've trained people for. They give scholarships to the Houston Community College. They make connections between them, and they really strive to raise the goals and the bar for all the people that come to them. We thought that with something they should capitalize on is the Metro Rail. That the Metro Rail has expanded into the neighborhood. It's 0.7 miles from the Northside Community Center, not a bad walk. And from there they have access all the way up to the medical center and all the way through the Northside community. So through the Metro Rail, we'll be able to link the programs of the Northside Community Center with downtown Houston, with other areas that might employ, and it's a benefit that we think could happen. And then, so what we realized with the conclusion is that our little FOC cannot make big plans without knowing what the direction of the whole place is, and that's up to the board and the chief executive officer. But within our program of 5 people, we can make plans for what to do temporarily, and that's going to be something that is going to have to be addressed. And we thought of renting a storefront on the Metro line so it could gain more exposure and might become a permanent or temporary place that they could do more work training programs.
Again, this is a collaborative effort. The community can rally around itself, and with the right partnership, in the right plan, following the strategic process that we've laid out, we believe that the NCC can be successful in the years to come. My name is Milton.
I'm Caroline.
Thank you for being in our presentation.